We're back to Cougar Paws. Your host, Michael Dawes, and we're talking about Prairie Ink, which is a literary magazine at Barton Community College, coming out June 1st. And we're here talking with Teresa Johnson and Jamie Oss. Hey, okay, so we have the first one come out June 1, Jamie. Is this a once-a-year thing, or are we looking at, twice a year? What's the concept here?
No, right now it's a once-a-year publication, but what we're going to be able to do next year, fall of 2010, I should say, is to begin to request submissions that early. We couldn't do it this year, but next year we'll begin in October requesting submissions, and we will have open submissions until probably January or February. And then we will again begin to choose what works will go into the second magazine then of 2011.
And we're hoping that in the second edition that we'll be able to publish it a little bit earlier. So it's kind of the May time frame, so that students that submit from our college community will have that available before they leave for the summer if they do that. Just the figuring out what we were doing and how we were going to do it kind of took some time, and we started this project in October, and so that pushed our deadlines back just a bit.
And I like that concept, because in this World Wide Web society we live in, you don't know whether what you're doing and what you're trying to submit to is even legitimate. You're giving these people and people who obviously are students many times opportunity to be published before they move on, and it helps them to advance in their next endeavor. So that's really a good point there. What about you have this magazine coming out? What is it that will encourage people, those closet people, to get out that work and polish it up a little bit and get it turned in? How do you kick them in the rear end and say, get going, get this thing submitted?
Well, I think that in the second edition it may be a little easier. I think some people are a little nervous that first time they submit something for publication, and I think people have an incorrect idea that publishing something means it has to be perfect, and there is no piece of literature that is perfect. It doesn't matter if it's a poem or a short story, everything has its imperfections. I know what Jamie and I do has its imperfections, and so I think just encouraging people that their ideas and how they put them on paper are valid, and that they're shareable, that they're worth other people reading, I think can be a real encouragement to maybe those people that are a little bit nervous about it.
And for example, we had a submission, very interesting short story based on a true story about Kansas, and it was longer than 5,000 words. So I emailed the author and said, cut this down to 5,000 words or less. I will make some changes to it and some suggestions at least, and send it back to this writer. And if those suggestions that I make are acceptable to the writer, then it probably will go into the magazine. And that can be helpful for people, emerging writers as well.
And if someone submits a piece and wishes to have some feedback on it, they just need to let us know, and we would be happy to do so, even if it's more than a little bit of editing here and a little bit of editing there. One other thing that Jamie mentioned that I think is important is that we also accept creative nonfiction. So again, someone that has interesting stories about their family or an experience in his or her life, that can be an expression, a creative expression of those experiences, and we would be happy and would encourage that type of submission.
Okay, Jamie, you and Teresa, both of you mentioned the critiquing factor here, which I think a lot of writers really like. I know I took a creative writing class at Wichita State, and that was one of the things that was like, okay, here, I'll flow it all out there, I'll let you see it, and it was bouncing those things off to make this the fine-tuned piece.
Yes.
These authors didn't really want to just go in there and have it be perfect. They wanted to work it and mold it. That's a given advantage in doing this publication process.
Absolutely, and it's the exact same process that all of us creative writers would go through if we were part of a writing group, a local writing group. That's what they do when they get together, is they talk about each other's works, their introductions, their closings, their details, their figures of speech, anything that's helpful that other people have had to work through themselves, and we're here for as well.
And I think that a lot of people forget that writing is a social process. It's not just an individual process. In our classes, we do things like peer review, where other students read other students' work. And sometimes it's difficult to know what's good and not just what needs work. And this is an opportunity to get some feedback from some other writers, from Jamie and I specifically, to help those writers know maybe what they could work on, but also what is really good about their work.
Mm-hmm.
In this process, is it getting to a point, I know you guys started from scratch not knowing much of what you were supposed to be doing. At some point it's going to get to the point where I think it's going to be very exciting to you, where these submissions are coming in, you're able to work with the authors, and then it's going to go to print, and all of this is going to be a body of work for people to read around here. Is that part getting exciting to you?
Absolutely. You know, Teresa's the computer genius of this duo. Yeah. But I had in my head what I wanted the cover to look like, and Teresa is really making it happen. And it's not done, but it is just gorgeous. It is close. And we're able to use, I think, a photograph of yours, Teresa, yes. Aren't we?
Yes.
For the front of the cover, and choosing the fonts, and choosing the colors so that they're recognizable.
Yes, that they have brand recognition, for lack of, another term.
Well, we've run out of time, if you can believe it. Make sure, listeners, you go to prairieink.bartonccc.edu to find out more information about the magazine. This is Michael Dawes saying so long for Cougar.